Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. And today sees the return of the 6 million view man, Ard van der Wetering, who is a Dutch puzzle master and happened to be the creator of the puzzle in our big video, which has been viewed, I think, 6.2 million times and counting at the moment. So the most viewed video, the most viewed Sudoku puzzle in the world. He's sent us another one, and he's obviously been following the trend on the channel of arrow puzzles and has come up with his own take on it, which is an anti-knight arrow. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Just before then, all of these arrows remind me that we are still working on our next app, which is going to be an arrow Sudoku app. So I think a lot to look forward to there. And all our other 6 apps are available in the links under the video. The THERMO app updated recently. We also have lots of content on Patreon, including recently my Cryptic crossword solve of the Times Monthly Club special. It took an hour and I didn't quite get it done, I think. Anyway, horrible scenes. But there's lots of other content on there, including Sudoku and intriguing stuff too. Let's have a look at this puzzle now. So the rule is quite simple. The 2 rules are normal Sudoku rules. Numbers on the arrows add up to the number in the connected circle. These numbers can repeat. That's quite important to know normally, as long as that obeys normal Sudoku rules. Now, there is, however, an extra rule, which is the anti-knight rule. So a number cannot see its identical number a chess knight's move away. So this cell can't be the same as any of these cells surrounding it. And Ard's done 1 or 2 of those before, and he's very skilled at using that rule. So this could be very good. Let's have a look. Do give it a try on the link below the video. He's not normally the most difficult setter. And look, he's given us 3 given digits, which is a generosity these days, but let's have a go at this and let's get cracking. One of those given digits is on an arrow. Almost never see that, but it doesn't tell me. These could be a 1 and a 2, making a 6, a 1 and a 4. Well, I suppose this can't be a 7 arrow because they're all in the same box and they include a 3, so they can't be 1, 2, 4. Yeah, the longer arrows. Oh, I was going to say the longer arrows have to be big numbers, but actually the number of repeats is quite dramatic. I think all of these 4-cell arrows have potential for 3 repeats. Exactly 3 repeats, interestingly. For each of them, there's only 1 cell sharing a box. Now here, these have to be at least 2 and 3. So we're up to a minimum of 7 for the circle. Oh no, no. The knight's move is absolutely vital. Look at that. Not one of those cells on the arrow can be a 1. Oh, that's almost feels impossible. It's not quite impossible, and I'll show you the way that it must work. In fact, bam, that arrow is just done. That 3 has disambiguated the 2 and 3 necessary in the middle. Everything else has to be a 2. The whole thing adds up to 9, which is obviously the highest single digit we can put in. And we've got a start from that arrow. That one, unbelievably helpful. Now, what does that tell us? It doesn't tell us very much, oddly. You see, this arrow looks like it must be heavily constrained now. Like none of those digits can be a 2, I can see that. But 3 of them could be 1s. Any or all of those could be 1s. I think maybe the question is actually, do any of them have to be 1s? Okay, let's look at the minimum digits. You see, this is quite interesting. It sees a 1, 2, and a 4. So it could, in theory, be 3, 5, or 6. And it could be 6, because they could all be 1s. This one This one can't be a 2 or a 3 either. So, and this can't go up above 5 because that has to be at least 3. And now if that was a 4, you'd need 1s here. What if that was a 1 though? This, no, this sees 2, 3 and 4. The 3 is on the knight's move, so I didn't see that immediately. So 1 and 5 can't be higher than 5 because that has to be, no, it can't even be 5. If that was 5, that at a minimum would be 3, and these two would take the total over 10. We cannot put 10 in a single cell of a Sudoku. That's another little secret. So this can't be a 5. It sees 2, 3 and 4. It has to be a 1. And this one, no, that sees 2, 3 and 4 as well. Same argument applies. That one, that one is a 1. And now this could be 4 and 3. Otherwise, it's, yeah, it can't be a 5. I don't know if I did some bad maths there. I probably did. 4, 5, 6. If that's a 4, that is a 3, and this is a 9. But on the other hand, this could be 3, 5, or 6 with a 1 here, and this becomes 6, 8, or 9. So again, it's not 7, which is quite interesting, because that can't be a 4 or a 1. Okay. And look at this pattern of cells. That's reasonably interesting to me because they all see each other with the knight's move constraint. What I mean by that is none of them can be the same as each other because they can all see each other either up here directly by Sudoku in the same row or by the knight's move. So therefore, those 3 digits are all different. I don't really know how to use that, but surely I can use, right, one of these is a 1 because it's not in the circle here. One of those is a 2. One of these is a 1, and I might be prepared to bet it's here, but I can't use that fact. This can't be a 9 now, though. Is that interesting? Possibly not. Oh, but there might be some ordinary Sudoku. Where does 1 go in this box? Not in those cells. Oh no, 3. Sorry, I pencil marked 3 in here, but it can't be there because of the knight's move. So you've actually got the 3 placed at the top. How can we use that? Not very much. This could still be, right, if that's a 6, it's 3, 2, 1. If it's an 8, it's 3, 4, 1, that way around. If it's a 9, we could be looking at 3, 2, 4 or 3, 5, 1. So it's a set of restricted possibilities to a degree there. Is there a reason that couldn't be a 4? Can't see one. Okay, so what can we do next? What about... this is getting quite interesting. That can't have a 1 here, here, or here. Oh, that is good. So it can have a 1 here. But then these definitely all have to be at least 2. In fact, that one can't be a 1, 2, or 4. Oh, this is getting interesting. Right, so let's put in I think 3 is the minimum. If those have to be 2, and that has to be at least 1, then with the minimum 3 here, I'm just going to fill these minima in. 1, 2, 2, and 3. Those are the absolute minimum for each cell. 1, 3, 5. That adds up to 8. So there's only 1 degree of freedom. And since this one can't be a 4, that is definitely a 3. Now this one can't be a 3, so that's definitely a 2. This one can't be a 3 either, so that's definitely a 2. This one, however, can be a 2, so we get 8 or 9 at the end there. Oh, that's fascinating. Now, what's going to happen to this arrow? That 2 literally sees every one of those cells. 2 of them by ordinary Sudoku, 2 of them by Knight's moves. So, it doesn't have a 2 on this arrow. These 2 can't be 3s either, nor can that. And that's getting very interesting. There's no 2s, maximum of 1 3. So, from numbers under 4, these are the only possibilities. It could be 3 plus 1 plus 1. That can't be 5. But I suppose anything could be. How many degrees of freedom then have we got? 1, 3, 4, 5. No, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 2 degrees of freedom. But that can't be 2 or 3. So that is a 1. That can't be 2 or 3. So that is a 1. This also can't be 2 or 3. So that is a 1. This is now 1 or... It can't be 1, obviously. Sorry, we've got a 1 in the box. So it could be 3 or 4 or 5, giving us the 6, 7 or 8 here. But we must have all the ones in this puzzle placed now, surely. Well, that's not a 1. Actually, that's quite interesting. That's become a 4. This is a 2. Then we get our 9. So this isn't a 9. And I think that means this can't be a 4. Yes, it does. So now we've got all the ones placed. Just like that. Okay. This can't be a 1 anymore. So that's a 2. This is a 9. Is that all right? Yeah, that's still working fine. Now, that means 9 is one of these 2 cells and one of those 2. Might as well pencil mark that while I spot it. But can we finish off 2s? Yes, that sees both those cells. So that's a 2. This is 3, 5, or 6. This one is 4, 6, or 7. The last 2 in the grid is there. No, hang on, my maths here was absolutely ridiculous. It's not 4, 6, or 7. I'm adding to 1 and 2, so it's 6, 8, or 9. So my apologies about that. Oh, there we go. Now what's going on here? This can't be adding 1 and 2. This cell can't even be 3. So that is 4, 5, or 6. This is 3, 4, or 5, and this is 7, 8, or 9. But it can't be 9 because of the knight's move. So this then can't be a 5. This can't be a 6. In fact, this now has to be a 3, because if it was a 4, that would make that a 5. So we get a 3 in the center. That gives us a 3 down in one of those. Still don't know about this. We know they can't be the same. They're not both 8s, but that's not getting any job done for us. Right, now we have to move on to these other digits. Oh, look at 9 here. That 9 sees all of those cells. So we know this must be a 9 in this cell in the corner, because that's the only place it can go in box 7. That's a 6. Right, this is now not a 6. Oh, actually, it wasn't a 6 ever since that stopped being a 9, so that's nothing very new. However, that 6 also sees all those cells. So it confines 6 to one of those two. This should be snowballing a bit. Yeah, that 9 sees those cells and that one. So now there's nowhere to put a 9 at all in the central box, and that means I've made a mistake. Ah! Let's go back to... I thought we were pretty good up to the 223 on the third arrow. So, I think maybe, did I unship myself by thinking about minimums here? Because maybe I should not have been narrowing it down in that way. Or maybe I added up something wrong. So none of them can be 2. The minimum they are already is 1, 3, 1, 1, which adds up to 5. Ah, but that could be a 1 and that a 4. Yes, do you know what I did? You probably do anyway. But what I did was I looked at those 2 cells and then I treated them individually as if with 1 degree of freedom. I think we worked out this already adds up to a minimum of 6. And that's right for these cells. So there are 2 degrees of freedom. So that can't use any of those 2 because it can't be 2 or 3. So that's still definitely a 1. That's fine. This one is the same. It sees a 2 and a 3. But these 2 act together. So what I did was I looked at this cell and said it can't be a 2 or a 3. Therefore, just like those, it can't use the degree of freedom. But I've got a 1 and a 3 as the minimum here. So as long as I can make these 2 add up to 4, 5, or 6, I'm in business. Yes, correct. So now that could be a 4 or a 5, as long as that's a 1. Or this could be a 4 or 5, as long as that's a 1. So in fact, all I know is that one of them is a 1. And that is not the same at all. Right, so let's take it from there. Now, this 1 has forced this to be a 2. That makes this a 9. I think that's okay. This 2 sees those 2 positions, so we get a 2 here. Yeah, let's be a little bit more cautious about this. So sorry about going hideously wrong and unwinding, but that sometimes happens. This is a live solve after all. I mean, it does mean I'm not really doing justice to Ard's puzzle, but he's probably seen that before. Right, so this one, these still have to be at least 3 and 4. So that is 7, 8, or 9 there. Now, has anything changed about the picture here? This could be 3, 4, or 5. This must be at least 4 here. So I think that can still go up to 6. Yeah, I can't rule that. Ah, now 9s, of course, these 9s are seeing every cell here except that one. This is the whole point. This is how I found the problem before. That has to be a 9 because it's the only place it can go in the central circle. So that's in the central box. So that's either 3 or 6 or 4 or 5. More importantly, that sees both of these by knights moves. So they're not 9. This has to become a 1. This now is a 3 or a 5. This is 6 or 8. So that can't be a 5. I don't think this can be a 4 anymore. That's correct. 1 there, and then it's still to be resolved. But that 1 is telling me that this is not a 1 here. This is the 1. And this can't be a 6 now because we can't put a 3 here, but we can put a 4 or 5. making that 7 or 8. And this is all good. Okay. Now, 1 there. Means 1 is not on this arrow. So this is a 2, 3, 4 arrow making 9. That 3 has determined this is the 8. That's the 6. We get a 2 there. That fixes the last 2s in the grid. One of these is a 3. Oh, look, those cells are all seen by that 3. That cell sees those, so 3 there. And that means that this isn't a 3, so this is a 4, 5 pair, making the 9. Oh, that 9 sees that cell, so we can fill in 9 in row 6. 3 in column 1 must be here. That cell can see that one. Then we are suddenly finished with 3s. There they go. 8 in this middle box must go there. We've got a 6, 7 pair either side. That's 4 or 5. Now, this is a question of picking off the good knight's moves, I imagine. Right, that 9 sees all of those cells. So we can put in 9 in box 2. And in box 1, can't be there because of that 9. That's probably been available for a while. 9 there, 9 there. So 9's all done. Now, 3, 2. So 5 has to be here in box 7. That one can see that. That makes this a 4 on the arrow. Every time we get an arrow cell, we get 2 digits from it now, but we're nearly finished with them. No, that can be 5 or 8. Annoyingly, 2, 9, 8, 3, 1, 6. 6 has to be in one of those 2. Therefore, also in one of those 2. I'm looking at all the wrong things here for some reason. 5, we've got 6, 7 and 8. I mean, we were given very few 6, 7 and 8s, and only 2 of them have appeared in circles or arrows. So not surprising perhaps that they turn out to be a little difficult in terms of wrapping up the puzzle. So that can't be a 7. 7's in one of those 2, which means that can't be a 7. I doubt that we need any complex logic, frankly, at this point. 5, 6 and 8. They are from 3, 9, 1, 7, 2. That 4 sees that cell, so we can place 4 in this box. Oh, and that's very helpful because that sees the central cell by a knight's move. Now suddenly, yeah, that's the only place for a 4 there. I think all 4s are done all of a sudden, like that. That sees both of those, so we can place 5. Gives us a 7 there. This is a 6, 7 pair. That is 5 or 8. Can't see how to do that yet. Oh, it's not giving up quite. 5 in this. Oh no, yes, 5 can be here. Thank goodness. I thought I'd ruled everything out again. That is uncertain. Right, 8, 7 and 6. So 8's down this side. That's not a 5. 4, 3, 5, 9, 1, 2 in row 8. Not the right thing to look at again. 7 must be in one of those 2 cells in this box. So therefore it's not here, it is instead here. That places this as a 7. That sees that cell, so it sorts out the 6, 7 pair there. Now I think we are largely finishing off rows, columns and boxes. We've got 8 and 5 to place. Yes, the central 5 sees that. So 7 and 5 to go. That has become a 6 thanks to just ordinary Sudoku. 8 and 6. Central 3 columns done. Oh, this is probably, yes, that's become a 5. There we go. So 8 there. That fixes 6 and 5. We've got 7 and 8 down the bottom. 6, 8, 8, 6, 7, 5. And I think that does it correctly in the end. So apologies about the error that misled me down here especially. Hope I explained how that happened clearly enough. It is something to watch out for when you're considering degrees of freedom over a pair of cells, and I should have known better. But as one of the ruder commenters occasionally suggests, I should wake up. Thanks very much for watching, as always, and hope to see you again soon on Cracking the Cryptic. Bye for now.